Good evening, everyone. Okay, my family, so today, this is the one I've been telling you. I've been wanting to do this video. I got this recipe from Pasta Grammar. Y'all, these are the best. When I say the best bean recipe I have ever tried, this is exactly that. I will tell you right now, I don't particularly like beans. But so far, through Pasta Grammar and through the Mediterranean dish, these recipes I absolutely love. The other one I like is a coconut based, which I've done this with y'all, on the butter beans. So we are going to do those cowboy beans together. I had baked some sourdough bread that we're going to have with this, but I cannot wait to share this with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the kitchen. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time wasting or anything like that. We're just going to spend a little bit of time together while we put this recipe together, because this to me is something that I believe everybody could absolutely enjoy for the winter. The beans that we're going to use, which have been pre-cooked already, are, well, they're actually called borlotti beans. However, another name, aka also known as cranberry beans. They look like a pinto. However, instead of a dark tinge to it like you do a pinto, these have a maroon color. They are so much more creamier. Now, honestly, I didn't have enough. I needed at least a pound. I didn't have that, so I am mixing them with another bean that I'm just now learning about. A really good friend of mine gave me some COWBOY beans, and she told me to give them a try, that they were just as creamy. She was not lying. So where I lacked in my 1 pound with my borlottis, I added the COWBOYs, and oh my gosh, y'all, this is going to be an amazing meal for tonight. Perfect for the winter time, great for those who don't have a whole lot, and it's really simple to make. You don't need a whole lot of protein. I mean, they're in the beans, but my husband also likes meat, and the cowboy beans does add bacon. However, I'm going a step further. I am using just a small amount of hamburger meat. Not necessary. That is totally optional. The bacon that I am using, though, is turkey bacon. It's what I had in my freezer, and that's what we're going to have. It's a lot less fat, especially since I already have the ground beef to go with it. So, y'all, you ready? Because this is going to be good. So let's hit the kitchen. My family, here we go. So we're going to start out with a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of our pan. We're going to turn on our stove. We're going to be adding about a half of an onion. Now this recipe right here, it's just super simple, and it's enough to feed an entire family. Now I am using a pound of beans only for the simple fact, for 2 people, that is a lot, but I need to save some, so I'll be freezing some of this because I need to start taking care of freezer meals or having extras I don't want to waste. So we're going to add this. Now I have some pre-cooked, not completely, of turkey bacon. The rest of this is going to be added to the freezer for another meal, such as maybe some loaded potato soup or something like that. I'm also going to go ahead and add some garlic that's been shredded, or minced garlic, basically. like so. I'm also going to be adding the pre-cooked ground beef to this so that everything is seasoned and flavored together. And we're going to be adding some, whether you have it or not, I have fresh and I didn't have enough fresh, so I am going to be adding some dried sage. Sage adds a really nice flavor to these beans. You wouldn't think it would mix, but it does. So I'm going to add some of that sage into this so that we can get that really nice flavor. Now the difference between borlotti or cranberry beans and pinto beans, they look the same, but two are both definitely different. The pinto beans have more of an earthy flavor to me. These borlottis are very pleasantly nice and creamy. They absorb a sauce extremely well for flavoring. And that's what we're going to be adding, actually, is a tomato-based sauce. So, let's see. There we go. That should be enough sage right there. I've got maybe a tablespoon or two of sage in here just for that extra flavor. And because this is dry, we'll probably add just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and let this simmer together. And make sure that our onions and our garlic is infused and translucent. And then from there, we're going to be adding our pre-cooked beans. Because these are dry, they take a little more than regular sage does. Alright, y'all. So now we've got this cooking. It looks good already. So we will be right back. Okay, y'all. So we've got our aromas. Oh, this smells so good. So we got our aromas going on. Now we're going to slowly add our beans. I kind of overcooked mine a little bit, so you don't want to really cook them like this, but I kind of did. But it's okay because they're going to be good no matter what. Now, I'm just mixing my beans in here together. I'm going to do this as gently as possible because I don't want to really destroy my beans. And no, as you noticed, we are not using the sauce or the juice from these beans at all, because we have something else we're going to do instead. Now, I am going to take 1 can because I'm using, this is about a half a pound of beans in here. I have more beans and I'll probably freeze those for another meal. So, and I may add more to this, but I have 1 pound can of San Marzano tomatoes we're going to add to this. So I'm going to take these whole tomatoes. I'm going to crush them, and yes, I'm going to add the sauce as well. That is what I'm going to use in place of the broth from the beans. Personally, I don't like the broth from the beans anyways. I'll cook it, but I really don't like to use it. So I'm actually going to break these tomatoes up in through here. Make this a saucy base, basically. Break these down. Turn this down a little bit. Okay. I am actually, because I have an entire pot full of these. I'm going to clean out my can. Sauce is sauce, y'all. A lot of us, we just don't like to waste. I am one of those people that don't like to. And if I need to, I can add a little bit of broth or water to this. Now I'm just going to go ahead and start mixing this up really good. And we're just going to let this simmer together till we create, basically it's almost like, well, they're cowboy bean soup meal. This would go good with an amazing sourdough bread as well. So now I'm just going to let this cook, and once this simmers, we'll be back and dinner will be ready to go, y'all. Alright, to this recipe, I also want to, now if you're going to actually just pre-cook the beans, you can turn around and use spicy peppers of any type, even cayenne peppers basically to cook. I did not do that. I did add my garlic to it, but I figured I'd go ahead and add my spice. So here's the two spices that you can use. You can use either aleppo pepper or red pepper flakes into this just to give this a little bit of kick. So, y'all, this looks amazing already. Nice hearty meal, inexpensive to a point. I mean, you can use whatever meat source you want in this, or you don't have to add any at all. So you can use ground chicken or ground turkey as well. Anything reasonable enough to add to that balance of fullness to your family. Mix them with these beans and you've got an amazing meal. So I am going to put these beans up because we have enough here, and I'm going to make another meal out of those. So we will be back as soon as this is heated through. Okay, y'all, so now we add our seasonings. If you have tomatoes that are sweet, how you tone that sweetness down is adding a little bit of salt to it. So I'm going to go ahead and taste it, see what I need to fix as far as my seasonings go. Oh, man. Oh, these are good. So we're going to go with a little bit of salt. Oh, that smoky turkey bacon to go with this. Wow. We're going to go with a little bit of pepper. I actually could go with just a little bit more aleppo pepper as well, y'all. This is a big pot. And more than likely some more sage. And with this part now, I will probably be adding some dried ground sage to this just for that sagey flavoring. I don't want to do it too powering though. So let me go ahead and get some sage and we'll be right back. Alright, y'all. So I would absolutely say that if you have some fresh sage, which I kind of wish I did, fresh sage is more potent, so it means that you won't have to use as much to flavor it. But since I didn't have any, I did add some of my dried to it, and I added a little bit of sage powder. Not too much. I don't want it to actually taste like sage. Just enough for flavoring. Add just a little bit of salt to tone down the sweetness of the tomatoes, some pepper, a little bit more kick, and it was perfect. So when you do these, and I will give you just basically the ingredients to this recipe, y'all. I want you to be able to use your palates to taste the balance that you love for your family. But I'm going to encourage you to eat these beans because these are absolutely amazing, y'all. So we're going to allow this to still simmer some, and we shall be right back. That will conclude this episode, y'all. I told you it was really super simple. If you cook your beans ahead of time, I could see if you wanted to slow cook your beans in a slow cooker, say if you have to work whatever, add your beans, you water, let it cook. Simple as that. If you are like me and you take care of the homestead, what I did was took my beans, I boiled them, I brought them up to a boil, turned it off, and let them sit there covered for an hour. You might want to let them sit there for about a few minutes or so, because these beans, they get tender actually rather quickly. So I let them sit. When I brought them up to the boil, I turned it off and I just let them sit for an hour. Then I slow cooked them all day long. When I took them out of the pot was approximately about noon, and so they were ready to be added to my stuff here. So y'all, that's where we're at. So this meal is now finished. Once those beans were cooked, I'm going to tell you, it took less than 30 minutes to prepare this meal. This is perfect for any family. It will go a long ways. A little bit will feed an entire family. This would feed at least 4 people. So it can go a long way, and I definitely wanted to share this. I do have some well, what's left of my sourdough that we've been baking right here. So I am actually going to finish cutting this up. I have another loaf, but I'm going to finish cutting this up, toast these, and this is what I'm going to serve with our beans tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this meal. I hope you try this, especially this winter. Inexpensive, great, filling, and absolutely delicious. Anything Italian, I'm telling you, I'm finding out really good. The next one I want to try is using cannellini beans and a specific type of pasta. Yes, they use a pasta-based sauce with beans. I cannot wait to try that one. When I do, I'll be sharing it with you. So until next time, look for the recipe in the description, or at least the ingredients for this recipe. Make it your own. Love it if you love it. If you don't, you don't. I get it. So at least try it. So until next time, much love. Mwah! From Parton's Mediterranean Homestead.